right now we're in the COVID era of the unknown. Taxi drivers pre-COVID has been in great demand. People have been using taxis in the city and West End of London, and licensed London taxis were leading the way, especially our company Sherbet, in transitioning from diesel all the way to electric. As you can see, we've got loads of electric taxis. But things are very hard, things have changed. COVID has literally cut people down, and unfortunately drivers, there's nobody in the city in the West End of London, so there's nobody to pick up. Taxi drivers and companies like ourselves have reinvented the business. I mean, if we look at what we did during COVID, we picked up dialysis patients because our vehicles have a private passenger compartment, have 2 meter social distancing, they have a passenger, a window, a partition window that keeps germs safe between driver and passenger. Our vehicles are accessible, so we were able to put wheelchair accessible people for dialysis and take them to hospitals. Private hospitals insist upon using electric, COVID kind of pandemic taxis, I call them, because we are kind of COVID free.
And what are the other ways that you have thought of diversify? No, you're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
2 seconds. I'll just bring this up a bit. So yeah, what are the other ways that you have thought of diversifying, or your drivers have thought of diversifying?
Well, there are many ways. We have to rethink. We have to pivot our business. We have to be flexible, both for our customers and our driver base. We're all about licensed London taxi drivers who want to transition from diesel to electric, because we've invested £50 million in 200 electric vehicles. But things need to change. So our business model today now, we connect the eco-conscious passenger via a seamless booking app to connect to electric taxis. We allow companies, when they're in the youre zone, to be able to book electric taxis via seamless bookings. So it's about bringing the eco-conscious passengers, companies who have corporate social responsibility, together with the purpose-built vehicle, which is not broken, you know. Not only that, our vehicles are driven by Londoners who live in London, who pick up Londoners, we pay taxes in London, and taxis are changing. It's a bubbling market. It's such a great market if you think about it. But one of the most important things, how many profitable taxi markets is there around the world? Uber? No. Get? No. Absolutely no. Sherbet last year were the Sunday Times 41st fastest growing company in sales pre-COVID. Profitable. Why? Because we do it right. We're not broken. Licensed London taxi drivers contribute £1.4 billion in licensed London taxi fares to the London economy. We're far from dead. We're ready to take on the company.
So what has the impact of COVID been? You say you've got 200 taxis. How many actually out and about? How are your drivers feeling?
So our total fleet is 500 vehicles in total, 300 diesel, 200 electric. We've been transitioning and ready to decommission all our fleet to go electric. COVID came along. So we've had to store some of our vehicles, but we don't store in fields. We look after our assets. We've got a private car park, security. We look after our assets. So things have changed. We do, at the moment, taxis are stored away, but if you look at the market, pre-COVID, you had 20,000 drivers and 22,000 vehicles. Post-COVID, we've got 15,000 vehicles and 19,000 drivers. So it couldn't be in a better storm. London taxi drivers are in a perfect place, in a way, to excel and own the London market if they transition to electric, if they embrace technology and come under a brand. Why? Because people don't call taxis anymore. They call brands with values. You can call a low-cost brand like EasyJet or British Airways. You can call an Uber or Sherbet, the real thing. And it's a traditional purpose-built taxi. People say we're expensive. You can book us on a fixed price. We're competitive. We're rather than competitive, we're prepared to outcompete our competition by delivering clean, green, safe travel in London, an electric vehicle, and cleaning up the air in London.
And so, how many cars are you currently storing, and where are they? They don't all seem to be here.
No, this is a prime location, 1 mile away from Liverpool. They were all here, but the reason why we moved them is simply because it's important to have space, to be able to move around, and to show your business in the highest possible light. Our vehicles are stored. We've got about 230 diesel taxis currently stored. And I don't expect that to be more than that. The thing is, it's the second lockdown that hit us. People lost a lot of confidence. My business pre-COVID was at 97% occupancy. We came down on COVID around the end of March from hero to zero. We reinvented and rebuilt to hero. But unfortunately, we are now going into the other direction. But I think we've got to get used to it. It's an endemic. Let's be flexible, reinvent, and we'll come back. We'll come back with in a different burst. And our drivers are all sitting at home waiting to come back to work.
So you're not worried? I mean, how long can you keep going if there's a third lockdown, fourth lockdown? I will keep going for a long, long time. Sherbet's here to stay. We've got great investment, great people behind us. We're innovative, we're forward thinking, we're the future of the London taxi. You know, the London taxi is full of innovation. It's not about the dingy, dirty diesel. It's about from diesel to data and using the electric taxi as a platform to help us move into the world of autonomy. It's happening very, very soon. We're on the cusp of 5G and technology is key. My taxi is another taxi to pick up a passenger. I can tell you, when we go over London and you hit a pothole, we can send transport for London, location, longitude, latitude, time and date. There's your pothole. When my vehicle has an accident, Lee's phone rings, and we can see through our cameras the actual impact of the accident within 15 seconds to help reduce our insurance. You can have pollution sensors, traffic data. This is where we're going with the London taxi. It's innovative, it's new, and it's all about data. That's all my sort of prepared questions. Is there anything that you think I'm missing out? As I say, you're the taxi expert.
I've given you...
You've given me a really large overview, so...
I've given you the super positive spin of London taxis.
Right.
And about Sherbet changing the way. And actually you've got an exclusive, because everybody wants to do doom and gloom. It is tough. It is very difficult out there. There are hundreds and hundreds of taxis parked. My fleet, other fleets. The reason why we're parking them, we could throw them away, but we don't want to. We know there's going to be a good day come back. These passengers, this is London, this is the capital of capital. You know, it's a cosmopolitan city full of tourists, decision makers, CEOs. I'm an optimist, and I believe in my business, and I know how to make my business work. There will be a lot of casualties. Anybody who runs their business in the same old way will die. Innovate every day, because change is hitting us every day. The pace of technology is overtaking us. But we're staying in front of all of that. And we'll be around for a long time. But I do expect casualties within this industry in a big way.
I was about to say, I mean, I left the UK 5 years ago to go work abroad and then came back. And in that time, taxis had card machines, whereas genuinely 5 years ago, you could only pay by cash, and that put you off maybe getting a black cab as opposed to something else. So it is moving. So you think the older, non-adaptive will probably be the casualties?
Well, without doubt. I mean, you kind of look at two parts. If you look at the trade as a whole, they're desperately fighting to come together and work with government to try and change and get support. We as a commercial organisation say, look, this is a £1.4 billion business. It lacks marketing innovation, and that's what we're bringing to the table. All focused on the green emissions in London. So things will change, and we have to adapt. Drivers need to adapt. Businesses need to adapt.
I think that's all of my questions, unless there's something you specifically wanted to add. Is there anything that you can think of that you wanted to cover that I haven't covered?
I need to come up with some negative.
No, you don't have to come up with a negative. I mean, realistically, for your business, you must have worked out, done the numbers. There's only a certain amount of time that you can park those cars. It's costing you money.
how long can you survive at the current rate?
So, how long can we survive at the current rate? Look, in a way, when lockdown came along, the first announcement from government was we're going to support you. Unfortunately, businesses like ours, who are, an award-winning business, one of the greenest strategies in London, we're cleaning up air, we're in line with the mayor's strategy. Unfortunately, our business, Sherbet, did not get government support, and we feel very, very let down. But our belief in our investment continues to allow us to pour our money, our profits, into our business, which has given us life. We've gone through Q1, or the first quarter, we've gone through the second quarter of lockdown. I'm sure there's going to be another couple. We will adapt. It's time to re-look at our business. We look at where is the profit. The profit's in the ketchup. Looking at your assets and trying to maximise each asset, making more efficient, and pivot the business plan. Taxis, we'll see 2 drivers in them soon, if not 3. We have to go backwards to the old days to get vision for the future. And we know we've been through recession, and we're ready for the next one. We'll just keep innovating.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So next up, I'll stop recording.